Hello YouTube, Glitchman here. So, the way these videos will be organized is first I will go over the resources necessary to build the framer weapon I'm going over. Then I will go over what the framer weapon does and its stats, as well as any special things about it. And finally, I will show any builds that I think would be good to use with the framer weapon that I'm going over. Now, onto the video. This is for Gauss, the new speedy boy, as I said in the last video. So, first things first, the resources. As with all warframes, you must first construct the neuroptics, chassis, and systems. Each part takes 12 hours, but you can build them all at once to save time. After that, you can then build the whole warframe, which takes 72 hours or 3 days. First up are the neuroptics. These require 15,000 credits, 1 argon crystal, 1,600 rubido, 6,200 salvage, and 2,950 alloy plates. Next up, the chassis requires another 15,000 credits. Then you need 3 radiant zentirum, 3 heart nith, and 6 star crimson. These 3 resources are gems refined from raw gems found on the plains of Eidolon. And in addition to those, you will need 55 Groctril, which can also be found on the plains of Eidolon. And finally, for the systems, you will need 3 radiant zodian, 3 marquis thist, 70 mitocardia spores, and 85 thermal sludge. All those materials can be found on the orb Valis, but the radiant zodian and marquis thist are gems that you need to refine, much like the gems for the previous part that you can find in the plains of Eidolon. Now, onto the abilities. First up, his passive, keeping Gauss moving, will charge up his battery, which is indicated by that second bar in the bottom right corner above your energy. Charging this will improve your shield recharge rate and decrease the recharge delay by up to 80%. Next up, his first ability, Mach Rush. Using this ability makes Gauss move forward at immense speeds while charging up his battery. Crashing into objects during Mach Rush will create a powerful shockwave that damages enemies nearby. In other words, you can kill enemies by giving yourself a concussion. The speed of this ability is affected by sprint speed. The drain of Mach Rush is measured with meters per 1 energy, which is affected by ability efficiency. The strength of the shockwave is affected by ability strength. His second ability is kinetic plating. This ability generates armor around Gauss, which blocks a portion of kinetic damage and converts it to energy. The damage blocked is determined by the charge of his battery. Also, this ability can be paired with Mach Rush in the sense that if you hit an enemy when using Mach Rush while kinetic plating is active, you will apply a status proc to that enemy. The amount of damage reduction from this ability is affected by ability strength. Next, his third ability is Thermal Sunder. Tapping the key for this ability will create an area of cold damage around Gauss and charge a portion of his battery. Any enemies caught in this area when it is cast automatically get a cold status proc applied to them. If you tap the key again, any enemies with a cold status proc in the area will be frozen solid. If you hold the ability, this will create an area of heat damage around Gauss, draining a portion of his battery and lighting any enemies in the area on fire. If you use the heat area in the cold area, or vice versa, you will create an area of blast damage. Both areas will decrease in size over time until they are gone. The rate at which they decay is affected by ability duration. Changing ability range will affect the size of the areas, and changing ability strength will affect the damage. His fourth and final ability is Redline. When Redline is active, it provides a boost to fire rate, attack speed, reload speed, and holster rate based on how charged the battery is. These boosts are affected by ability duration. Now, you may notice there's actually a red line on the battery. When red line is active, the battery can actually be charged past that line. When it is charged past that line, bolts of electricity will arc from Gauss, damaging any enemies they come in contact with. When red line ends, any excess charge from the battery is sent out as bolts of electricity in one large burst. So, time for the builds. Before I start, I would like to point out that I have used a formula to add a dash to this slot right here. First up is a build called the Clap. So for all these builds, I have empowered blades in the aura slot because it's the only aura I have that matches the polarity. Now for this build, I focused on range and strength with a bit of duration. Now for range, I use stretch, which gives plus 45% ability range, auto reach, which gives an additional 30%, overextended, which gives 90% more ability range and 60% less ability strength. Now for ability strength, I used Umbral Intensify to try to make up for the strength lost to overextended, and then for duration, I used Continuity, which gives 30% more ability duration. Next up is a build I call What Are Bullets? This build focuses on duration to improve Gauss's red line. First up, we've got Continuity for 30% more duration, Narrow-Minded for 72% more duration, but 48% less range, then Constitution for an additional 28% duration, and I also will have Augur Message in there, which will give 24% more duration. And I'm using the remaining capacity for a redirection and Prime Vigor to increase my shields and health, a bit of efficiency, and Prime Flow for more energy so I can keep using Redline. And finally is the all-powerful Neum. First up, we've got Rush for 30% more sprint speed, then we have Streamline for 30% more efficiency, and Fleeting Expertise for 60% more efficiency, but 60% less duration. Then I've got Narrow-Minded, Constitution, and Augur Message for a bit more duration so that Redline doesn't suck. Now, here's a bit of footage of those builds in action.
While a Tenno operative hunts for supplies, set off the alarms to start. A steady stream of toxic spores is being released into the area. Hold on, support is inbound. I've delivered a life support capsule to the area. Activating it will buy you more time.
Come on!
Look for personal life support modules dropped by fallen enemies. Life support on the way. Another life support capsule is now available. Now, prepare for life support. Life support has arrived. Provide cover for a lone Tenno operative. Set off the alarms and keep the infested busy. The infested are releasing toxic spores into the area. The emergency life support I am delivering is your only chance for survival. I've delivered a life support capsule to the area. Activating it will buy you more time. Fallen enemies will drop crucial life support. Be on the lookout. Prepare for life support. Another life support capsule is now available.
That is all for this video. Feel free to leave a comment and tell me anything I missed.